York. I checked into my apartment, which is this apartment, yesterday. But I'm so excited to show it. Yesterday was too dark when I came in here, but now is the perfect timing, so we're gonna do this. This is definitely one of the better apartments I've ever stayed with Kindred in New York. I've stayed in 2 other places in New York, and it definitely weren't this nice. I feel like a lot of times when it comes to real estate in New York, it's a lot of studios. So this is probably the first time that I've separate kitchen, a separate living room, and a really good size bedroom. But the best part of all of this is not even the place. This is like, this is secondary, this is nothing. It is the fact that the owners left behind 2 cats for me to hang out with. So, out of all the places, this is definitely a jackpot. Let me show you the kitties, and then I'm gonna talk a bit about what this platform is that I'm using for home swapping, and yeah, how the hell am I here hanging out with random person's cats? So, let's go.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work.
So this one here is Hamilton, and he's a really sweet baby. He's super cuddly, loves ball scratches. Yeah. I'm a fan of this one. And then there is the other one. This guy's name is Earl Grey, and he's also a cutie pie. He's not as affectionate as the other one, but he's still cute. But I'm not gonna bother him as much just because I don't like to pressure cats into giving me love. So I'm actually, while I'm here, I'm feeding the cats, I'm changing the water, and I'm doing everything that the owners of the apartment told me to do. This is probably the first time that I saw anyone leave their pets behind, but it's kind of cool because they get free pet care, and I don't really mind taking care of the kitties. Oh, this is too sunny. Okay, now let's get to business. The platform I'm using to home swap is called Kindred, which is a members-only platform, but it is free to join. And believe me when I tell you, it saved me so much money in the past couple of years that I've used it. I've always been a fan of the movie The Holiday. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. It is a Christmas movie where 2 women home swap the houses in, I believe, New York and somewhere else in the USA. The concept has always been so intriguing to me, but there hasn't been anywhere that I can actually do that realistically without having to worry about the dangers of letting someone you do not know into your house, as well as figuring things out logistically and trying to organize everything yourself. At the time that I joined, the platform was still in very early stages, and it has changed drastically throughout the years, but for the better. Initially, there was a membership fee for you to even be able to join the platform, but now that the monetization structure is different, you can pretty much sign up anytime if you have a place where you live by yourself or with a partner and you travel together. A situation where you have roommates is not really going to work because you're supposed to offer the whole place to someone you're home swapping with and not just a room or a part of the house. But in summary, Kindred is a home swapping app that allows you to stay at someone else's place while they stay at yours. Now, while it can be a one-to-one swap where you're switching homes with someone in real time, it doesn't really happen that often. Since you both need to have days off at the same time, you both need to want to go to a specific location that that person lives in, so it's a bit more complicated, but still a possibility. Another way you would home swap, which is a more common way, is when you host someone while you're away, earn credits, and then you use those credits to travel whenever it's convenient for you. The way you earn credits is obviously by hosting people, which is 1 night for 1 credit, then also having your place available on the platform, even if no one is traveling to your place. I believe that would be a quarter of the credit for each night that it's available. And also referring people. I've referred a few of my friends just because I genuinely do feel like that is a really affordable way to travel, and I've gained around 15 credits or nights just by doing that. So again, the way it works is you list your home with your available dates, and if you have travel coming up, you browse other homes and request to stay. If the other person approves your stay, then Kindred coordinates all the details, and that's pretty much it. You get to stay at someone else's home instead of paying for a hotel or Airbnb. All you have to pay for is a professional cleaning before and after your trip, as well as platform fee. So this New York trip, I only paid about $80 per night, which for this much money, to be honest, I feel like you can only get a hostel somewhere in Harlem. Like, it's insanely cheap for New York. But the pricing also depends on where you're going to. So some cities are gonna be more expensive, like New York at $80 per night, which is probably the most expensive that I've ever paid per night while staying with Kindred. For context, when we went to Miami, it was only about $67 per night, and the place was absolutely stunning. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in a building that had a pool, a jacuzzi. Like, it was beautiful, right in the middle of Brickell. It was anything I could ever wish for. And the reason why it's cheaper is, one, lower platform fee, but also cheaper rates for cleaning. Now, unlike Airbnb, Kindred members actually live in those apartments, so it's almost like if your friend asked you to house it while they're away, like, they would have all of their clothing, food, gadgets, sometimes pets in there. So this makes it way more personal and intimate rather than a hotel or Airbnb. Now, a very important note is you can't actually travel unless you've been verified. Normally, when you just join a platform, you would go through the verification process. You would have an interview with someone from Kindred, kind of asking you about what you do, your social media handles. So there's definitely a bit of verification that happens before you even can join or travel anywhere or host your own place. Another way to do verification is for a photographer that comes to your condo before it goes up on the platform. Kindred does professional real estate photography for your condo for free. So I had this person come in with all the equipment, lights, everything to take professional photos of my place, which was quite cool. So that means that when I get a request from someone to stay at my place, I know that they've been verified by Kindred, at least, basic level verification. And I can also go on their profile page to look at what they do, their LinkedIn page, how many times they've traveled and hosted, as well as their place they live in that's posted on the platform. If you like their profile, if you like the video that they usually post about themselves, then you can just set the request and pretty much proceed with hosting someone right there and then. So while of course there's still a risk of bad actors, I personally never had any issues and hopefully will never have to deal with that. But let's get back to New York. I am going to start with my favorite part of the house, which is the living room, and the fact that it has, again, a proper dining table, a proper couch, and it's very nicely decorated, which I'm a sucker for. Also, I'm really repping New York hard today. This toiletries kit is provided by Kindred during each one of your stays for every person in your party. So if you're traveling with a friend or a boyfriend, you'll get 2 of these. So this way, you don't have to drag shampoos around and the host does not need to share their products either. So this hair here today have been sponsored by the guest kit that Kindred so kindly provided. And you know what's interesting? I actually have not traveled in a while. Maybe it's been like a year and a half or 2 years since I last went anywhere with Kindred. And this kit right now that they provide you is very different from the one that they provided before. So I'll show you what they have now. Aesop body balm, Aesop conditioner, Aesop shampoo, Aesop body cleanser, and then a little pen so you can write your thank you note when you leave. You know what's interesting? These are like the basics that you would normally need, but they used to put a lot more stuff into it. It was a brand called, I think, Mullen and Goetz. I don't remember, but it was like something along those lines. But it used to be like all those basics, plus like face cleanser separately, face cream, sunscreen, Advil, Band-Aids. It used to be a lot more stuff. Like you would open this up and it would be like things falling out. I feel like this makes more sense because you get less, but you actually get things that you really need. But yeah, that was a change. I also gotta say that it's been so interesting to see the platform evolve into what it is right now, because it started with everything being coordinated for text messages and emails to now having a wish list feature, a map feature, a profile feature, and things moving into more of like a social or community-based app, which I really like. And they also started to push this community aspect of things quite a bit, which makes sense because at the end of the day, it is based on trust, and the more involved you are, I feel like the more willing you are to let someone into your space. They have a Slack channel where they post about different Kindred events, and I've actually been to a few of the Kindred hosted events that were a lot of fun, and they have those events all over the world in the cities where Kindred operates, which is pretty cool. Also, a very common thing to do is leaving a gift when you leave the place. I was thinking to go with a candle, but if I do find something else that works better than a candle, I'll buy that because candles are not very good for cats. But we'll see. We'll see what I find on my little walkie walk. Okay. Shall we? the gift is secured and I'm on the way back to drop it off. And then we're off to one of the last nights in New York before I have to go to Connecticut for the wedding, which is why I came here in the first place. So let's go. So I pretty much covered all the basics of home swapping, but I want to add some final pros and cons in case you decide to partake in this activity. Okay, pros. Number one is free cleaning service. For the first year while I was on the platform, I didn't actually travel anywhere. I only let people into my house while I was away at the cottage or traveled somewhere with friends and we stayed at the hotel. And every time I would come back, my place would be scrubbed to perfection. So in that first year that I was just hosting people, I'm sure I've saved around, I don't know, over $1,000 on just cleaning alone. Number two is obviously it is a very affordable way to travel, way more affordable than hotel or Airbnb. And you're getting to stay at a great place at the fraction of the price. Number three is being a part of the community. It feels much warmer when you're traveling somewhere in an unknown city with Kindred because you already know that you're gonna have your recommendations for the places to go to. Any questions you have about the city, the person on the other side is always willing to help you out. So it definitely feels more intimate than a faceless hotel or an empty Airbnb where you come in and you're like, oh my god, I have like a kettle, a cup, and that's pretty much it. And then my final point is you don't need to worry about the short-term rental regulations because since you're not charging anyone money, it doesn't actually qualify as you renting this place out to someone. So that is something that I was worried initially because my condo does not allow short-term rentals. But again, because there's no transaction happening between you and the person on the other side, all the money that the other person is paying go to Kindred for the platform fee or the cleaning. So you don't have to worry about short-term regulations or having to deal with that later on, you know, if someone finds out. Now for the cons, the first and the biggest one obviously is you're always taking a risk allowing someone into your space. There's always a chance of a bad actor, and although there are those steps to like verify someone and you can have a video call with them and whatnot, there is still a risk and you can't really do anything about it. That being said, I haven't heard of any stories of anyone doing anything bad, like I don't know, stealing something or doing something bad to their apartment. For the most part, it's people that are genuinely interested in home swapping and traveling somewhere for cheaper, as well as allowing other people into your place. And I feel like once you've allowed someone into your place, you're way more respectful to other people's condos and houses. And I like to stay optimistic about people and their intentions. And the second con is someone accepting your request to stay, but then a week before, 2 weeks before, their plans change and you're left with your flight tickets and nowhere to stay. That actually happened to me in Miami when I was supposed to swap with someone. They were supposed to come to Toronto and I was supposed to go to Miami, but for him it didn't work out last minute. So about a week before I had to fly, he told me that he can no longer host, and I was left scrambling for another place in Kindred like a week before I had to fly out. And I was lucky that I was able to find something that was even better than the initial place that I agreed on, but you know, it could have happened the other way as well. Apparently in this kind of situation, Kindred would actually put you in a hotel if someone cancels and you have nowhere else to go. But I'm not sure what kind of hotel they would put you in and what is their daily allowance for the hotel. As you can imagine, if it's like 150 to 100 bucks in New York, you're not going to be able to find anything good in Manhattan. But again, you're always taking a risk, and it only happened to me one time out of all the times that I've traveled. And again, it wasn't an issue because we were able to find something else. But all in all, my experience has been nothing short of amazing. I've recommended the platform to so many of my friends because it is a genuine recommendation. And yeah, if you ever decide to try it out, definitely let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'm very curious to see how it goes for you. And yeah, that's it for today. See you in the next video. Bye!